time etched its story upon the cosmos, there existed a realm where legends were born, a universe bathed in the shimmering light of infinite possibilities, where each twinkling star whispered tales of heroes and their odysseys. Welcome to a journey where galaxies collide and destinies are forged in the crucible of time itself. Welcome to Legends by Amazing Colors Monday Night Mass. Legends by Amazing Colors Monday Night Mass. By Amazing Colors Monday Night Mass. Monday Night Mass. Monday Night Mass. Legends assemble and use your powers to defend and break free.
Pick yourself up with Ride Rent a e-bike today and take advantage of the smartest and coolest way to get around. Rental starting for only $30 per hour and less than $100 EC per day. Zip through traffic, save money, and look awesome doing it. Check us out at the Esplanade Mall today. Visit us online at ridersebike.com or give us a call at 473-422-1011. Your wallet and the planet will thank you. Ride Rent a e-bike.
Yo! Right along live. Welcome to the live Monday. I'm back. Yeah. After 2 weeks having all the fun and the spice, I am back in the air chair, back to work. For some reason, my producer don't think when I'm in Grenada I'm actually working. She often thinks that I'm always on vacation, right? So when I'm actually here, she feel that I'm actually getting work done. Not when I'm in Grenada. So I'm back to work. Thank you so much. Thank you. Happy to be back in the air chair. Lydia! If you're happy to see me back, give me a thumbs up now. Give me a thumbs up. Give me some heart. Today we have a conversation, guys. We have a conversation. Wait! We have a conversation for you. June, big up. Kia, how you doing? Kaya, how you doing? Don't call last name. Yeah, so she miserable. Thank you so much. Lacey J, I see you. Everybody, guys, before we start, I want you guys to do this for me. Add followers. Let me do it as well. Add followers. Add followers. Lacey, Jennifer, add followers, guys. Today we have a conversation. Yeah, today we have a conversation. Interesting conversation. Susan, thank you. Nice. Add followers, everybody. Listen, I'm only bigging up people who add followers. Add followers, add all your followers, because we have to talk. You know, in every conversation, there are always two sides of it, right? But oftentimes, especially now in this media landscape, guys, you only seem to kind of get one side and you don't really get in the other side. And you know, we are right along, we really try hard. We try hard to always bring both perspectives in every single story. Sometimes we get you, sometimes we don't, right? Thank you, Denise, Melissa, Mark, thank you so much. Sometimes we get you, sometimes we don't. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Nevertheless, we try. So today mark the 2-year anniversary, 2-year and a day anniversary of the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, right? 2 years ago, they took power here in Grenada. Now, over the past 2 years, there have been many criticism. There have been many advocates and people who hail the administration as doing well. But of course, there are criticism. So I think that, let's bring it all together and get both sides. So we went out and we sorted out many different individuals that we think could give a balanced conversation on their perspective, right? They're not wrong, they're just their perspective. So we reached out to Mr. Michael Batiste, right, earlier today. And Mr. Michael Batiste gave us a thumbs up that we should go ahead. He is on board 100%, guys. And also we reach out to Mr. Kem Jones. Yes, I believe that would have given a really nice balanced conversation. You know, Michael have his views. Some might deem controversial, but he has his views and we respect it here on Ride Along Live. But right before program start, guys, we unable to get Mr. Michael Batiste. Michael didn't, up to now, Michael has any phone. Honest to God, truth. Michael don't answer any phone, but he has a link, so we believe that Michael will come on. Also, guys, we made a match because I remember about 3-4 years ago, we had a conversation with, you guys remember Kem Jones and Bobby Steele? So we said, yeah, let's bring Bobby Steele into the thing, man. Let's bring in Bobby Steele. So, regardless of if Michael Batiste comes in or not, we're going to have this conversation. So, help me to welcome tonight, Lord of mercy, my good friend. He's no stranger to the right. He's a family. I call him a family. See him right there? Mr. Kem Jones and, let me bring them on, all of them on the screen at the same time. Mr. Bobby Steele. What go family? How you guys doing?
Good man, good man.
Bobby.
Well, I don't Kemlin's glee today because he know how my views were a few years back, and I have to admit certain things turned out the way he was telling me back then.
Oh!
So my father grew me up to believe that when you're wrong, you have to be able to admit you're wrong.
Okay.
You understand? So
Okay.
I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. I can admit when I'm wrong.
No problem. That's interesting. So this is even going to be even more interesting.
Well, Junior, Bobby is my pal, and that's my boy.
I know that.
And we may disagree from time to time, but I can tell you, we could have a damn good conversation, and I can learn from it. And that's what's good about it, And, Bobby, big up your whole self, man.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Good to be back on the show with y'all.
I remember that debate that we had about 4 or 5 years ago. It was a heated conversation. And it was not disrespectful, we was very respectful. Everybody got a chance to state their point of view, and I love that. I love that. So it's nice to have you guys back on the program here today. If Mr. Michael Batiste decides to come in, he does have the link, and we will welcome him as we always do on the program. So let's start with you, Bobby. And the question is for the day. We're talking about the NDC 2-year anniversary, officially yesterday, so 2 years and a day today. What's your take on the administration thus far and how they have been going, what they have been doing? What's your view on the NDC administration?
Well, to be fair, the first thing I should do is just give a quick recap. My original thoughts on them is that among them, I actually believe that they should have held a couple of seats in the last election, enough that they could have played a proper role as an opposition and learn and then become the government, in time if we could have seen the majority in the opposition in terms of their behavior, the maturity, I should say.
Right.
However, I must say that, in my opinion, and I see Kem done smiling already because at the end of the day, I was proven wrong in that regard because I honestly think that, and I cannot speak again to the whole party because remember, I live in the South. I can only speak for the South and the circumstances of what I've been able to see with my eyes because I don't like to speak on behalf of others and what has occurred for them. I can only, what I've seen in my areas, what I've seen, example, in the behavior and the activity I saw when I was in Carriacou, and in general, people of the tongue of St. George, what I'm seeing, the little things that I'm seeing, that it is going to be very hard pressed for me to find something negative to say. Because at the end of the day, what I've seen is not just work happening. It's not just about the work happening, but it is the way that they are communicating what is occurring to the people, to the masses. The way they're bringing it across, what they're doing, what is their goals, what is their message, and how they're going about it. I don't know, they might have people who have personal issues. You hear people say there's victimization. They say, yeah, you're going to hear that every single time. No matter what government is power, you're going to hear these things because, a lot of times people they're not accepting to change. And sometimes change, there are things that need to happen in the short term and when change occurs in order to make it better the long term for everybody, right? And I'm a firm believer in that, right? And so I will say this to you, right? And somebody might say, but Bobby, you're only looking at yourself from that point of view. But let me say this to you. This is my experience, and I like to point this out. I went back to Carriacou for the first time in many, many years for Carnival this year.
Right.
Right? And Tevin Andrews is somebody who, yes, I've known, but if there's somebody that maybe have a reason to say, all right, well, that is our old NMP boy, if they want to call that, even though I have never associated to say I belong to any party. I'm a Grenadian. Whatever is the best for Grenada, I will side with. Whatever is the best. Whenever it is that time, it is about what is best for Grenada. But Tevin Andrews did something when I was over there, which in all of the years of, you could see the support that I was showing towards the work that was done by NNP. I never got that. I never got somebody who, I was standing in the rain, Junior. I was in the rain. Rain was falling. And Tevin called out to me and said, come and shelter here next to him. Right? And brother, that small, people might say, what's that? But that little small thing, that he did. And just tell me, he told me some things that, in relation to what he thought and how I played a role with them in the carnival and across there. And it meant a lot to me. It meant a lot to me. And then I drove around Carriacou and I saw the work that is happening across on that island, Junior. I saw what was happening with my own eyes. It's not somebody telling me a story. I see what's happening right along the length of breadth when I drive around Grenada, right? You look, people might say it's small things, but when you're living in Grandance and you pass by the Grandance, by Coffee Bowl Hill, and you take a look at that basketball court and that whole area, and you look at the beautification that has happened, right? You could feel proud as a Grenadian that right now, all right, maybe my taxpayers' money going to something besides just salaries and trips that you hear about, right? Or you know what I mean? You're seeing actually an eye. Now, yes, there's the argument that people are saying money is being spent and nothing left in the coffers in case an emergency hit Grenada. How would we react? And all these kind of stories. But I remember Deacon saying something that has always stuck with me, right? And he said, yes, it is all right to be governor. These are not the exact words, but if in the context, right? That the first thing of a prime minister is to look after his people, to look after his people first and foremost. And while you can be saving for some long time, something that could happen, it could hit tomorrow, it could hit in 50 years. If you lose your citizens, if they die, if they cannot survive, what are you saving really for? You understand what I'm saying? You have to keep your people alive. You got to fix the problems that are here now, right? And yes, you have to pay attention a little bit to try and put away something in case of the bad time, but you got to fix the problems here now in order to increase the potential for more money to be made in terms of taxation, more people to be working, a better lifestyle for everybody, right? And indeed, an island that every Grenadian can feel proud of. And for me, what I'm seeing, all the lighted fields around, people might say that as nothing. When you provide that opportunity to take the kids off the blocks, give them an opportunity to get involved in sports, get involved in exercise, get involved in something that is meaningful to them and that could potentially change their life, then you're giving them real hope. When you're only talking a talk and saying this is what could happen, right? But you're not actually doing it, or you're giving promises, and you're selling off pieces of land, but the Grenadian actual people can't see how that benefiting them. Then you understand what the problem is. So for me, I would say this, and I could be wrong, right? I could be wrong. This is my opinion, but unless something drastically changes, drastically, I would say to you that I know for sure, based on my feeling and the people I talk to in my circle, I know for sure where the South St. George seat will be going in the next elections. Right? Because when a man does the work, when a man goes in and he communicates with everybody, no matter what party you belong to before, and he puts out this level of work and this level of effort for everybody, then we as a people should back him when time comes. Right? And straight up, and without, I always said Andy was a good guy before he ran, right? But I was still very much that I didn't think I was, I didn't think it. I was thinking party first in that regard. But Andy has won over me for sure at this point in time. You don't know what tomorrow can hold. You don't know what the future can hold. But at this point in time, if we go in, the program today is about what have they done in their first 2 years.
Yes.
And I'm saying at this juncture, if somebody came to me and said tomorrow morning, how will you vote? I know where my vote will be. Right? And I could easily say it will be for Andy without any doubt. Because, and this is not that I have personally benefited from him, Andy. I think I've had one conversation with him personally since the entire elections. Right. But I could see with my eye. I could see what is happening. I could see how people are transforming. I could see what the beautification of the South has looked like, and I hope others can as well. That's all I can say,
Right. Interesting. Kem, jump in here, Kem, because I saw you smiling and things.
Well, Junior, Bobby and I, we good. We play domino together. We bounce a drink or two together. We good like that. But Bobby has always been a real guy. He's not fake. He expresses what he sees and he speaks from the heart. Because any reasonable person would conclude that the Honorable Andy Williams has done an exceptional job in real representation for the people of the South and to a larger extent, Grenada. He has been overperforming. In fact, I told him once, I said, boy, you go run out of steam, that energy too much. He's everywhere trying his best with the people. So Bobby is bang on target. And I know Bobby. Bobby's real. So I expect that. I'm not surprised that Bobby is expressing that view and that position on the program today. I am not surprised because I know the individual. But I want to say this. The NDC, when they just started, they demonstrated to the Grenadian people that they were real, that they were genuine, and the promises they made to the Grenadian people during the campaign, they would fulfill it. First, you remember the session or the event they had at, I think it was the swearing-in ceremony at the stadium. And the most honorable Deacon Mitchell made a first good move when he said, I don't have to go to court to know whether the money that was docked from teachers and hard-working public servants should not have been docked. They should not have taken that money from them. I don't have to go to court for a judge to tell me that. He said, I will give you back your money. The government of Grenada will give you back your money come, I think it was about a month or two. I think it was June, July, about October, November, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
That they announced that the money will be repaid. So $1.2 million was given back to the teachers. And you know what we had thereafter? We had Intercol returned. We had parish sports return, science fair, debates, and all the extracurricular activity, all the extras that returned. Because remember, it was a very hostile environment. It was not even conducive for learning for our kids. Just by that $1.2 million taken away from the salaries of public officers, teachers, and so on around Christmas time under the previous administration. Because they say you ain't work, you can't get paid. But the teachers and public officers went out there to demonstrate for their pension and their gratuity, because an MOU was signed between the unions and the government at the time that the money will be paid. The pension will be paid, the gratuity will be paid. That was not done. It was reneged upon. But here it is. Besides paying the doc salary, they actually paid the pension to 500 plus public officers who were actually protesting, demonstrating every Monday morning, so to speak, for what was rightfully theirs. And I remembered vividly when the most honorable Deacon Mitchell said, even if we have to borrow the money, we're going to pay these people. And I remember Dr. Keith Mitchell saying, well, the estimated amount would be $465 million to pay the backlog, meaning the gratuity aspect of it and the pension that was owed. And then it would take $120 million annually to pay the pension. But we discovered that that was a lie. In fact, it was too far off to say, well, boy, made a mistake and it's an estimation. I could see if it was 100 million or 130 million. You will say, yeah, boy, maybe the estimation was a little, but 465 million, we discovered it only took $64 million. Huh? That was the actual amount, $64 million. But when the most honorable Deacon Mitchell realized that there were police officers and prison officers and so on, workers who started working like a RC, for example, the Blue Stripe police officers. They started off as a RC, but that 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years didn't count. When they became a Red Stripe police, like a police, private constable, I think they call them, PC or something like that, or WPC, then they qualify for the pension. So he joined the years, and then it rose to $75.1 million. That's a caring government and a caring leader who says, nah, boy, we can't make these people lose 5, 6 years of service. We're going to add it on. But when he did that, he fulfilled a very, very important promise. Some people don't understand how impactful that was, because if Bobby had, for example, his mother or his father who was waiting on that money for 7, 8 years, retired 7, 8 years, Bobby had to find money, his money, to help his mother and father pay for the medication, visit the doctor, pay the bills. Because remember, they were working for a salary and then they retired. And they retired thinking that they're going to get their pension. So every month they would get 66.66%, almost 70% of their last highest emolument. Right. So that would kind of help them to cushion the effect, to balance things off. But that was not coming for 7, 8 years. The Miss Jeremiah, for example, she retired 8 years ago, When she got that money, she cried. And that was tears of joy. But I am simply saying, when we saw those things in the initial stage of governance of this administration, people say, nah, boy, these people are, they really, they're honest. They're serious about what they told the Grenadian people they were going to do during the campaign, and they were actually doing it. And that's just some examples of how genuine, how sincere. Because if you start on a good foot, a good footing, as people would say, you would end on a good one. Eh?
Yeah.
And so far, they have started on a good footing. I've started listing some of the achievements, and I reached to 80. So the main achievements of this administration. I'm not talking about the constituency. So for Bobby might tell you, well, boy, the True Blue Road is being fixed, right? He might tell you about the Limes playing field. They resurfaced that. They lit that playing field. He might tell you the Montrouge playing field. They light that too. He might tell you about the netball court, basketball court at by the Grandance area there. He might tell you about the derelict vehicles that they sought out. He might tell you about so many other things within that constituency that he actually saw. The beautification and a number of things. The community center and the focus on communities and so on. The houses that they're repairing. He might tell you about those things within that constituency. But when it comes to nationally, I started listing some of those national impactful stuff that they have done. And maybe in the course of the program, I would share some. But I am very impressed with the level of deliverables because they're actually delivering on a number of things. And I think people are happy. When I saw a good friend of mine from Belial, and I want to be real, the first person who received a modern bathroom and toilet facility as part of the WASH program was an NNP supporter. And I know the lady personally. But you know, when I listened to our beloved Prime Minister, he said this thing is about NNP and NDC. This is about giving dignity back to women and back to, households who, you're afraid to bring somebody in the house because, boy, you have a pit latrine. They may not want to use the bathroom. You're shame. But when you get that, they actually change the lives of 40-something households, families, 6 and 7 children in that house using that bathroom and toilet facility. That is governance. Governance for the people. Governance that there's some equity and justice in it. And I was very, very impressed when I saw that. So, by and large, so far, so good. They're not perfect, Don't believe that they're perfect. There is no government that will be.
Right.
But so far, they are trying their best. And we must support them. And I'm in full support with Bobby's position.
Right.
This is about country.
Bobby, do you think that the payment of the gratuity and the pension at the time that it happened and the back pay of to the teachers started off the government in a good light to govern from the front?
Oh, yes, for sure. I mean, look, again, I'm not privy to what's in the coffers, and I'm not privy to the different economical visions in terms of what is really the mindset behind it, right?
Right.
One will give just on the outward appearance that Dr. Mitchell runs the island. If you want to put it in a lack of a better word, he ran it like a banker would, and Deacon Mitchell is running it like an entrepreneur will, right? Both have their different opinions of how to run it. No, Ken might come and say, well, there was a dishonest banker, right? They will have different opinions. But, when you hear one version of the story is we were following the mindset of the IMF. We were following what we need to have in reserve in case there is an issue. And then the other issue is if you sit down waiting for an issue to happen and allow your people to die and allow your people not to be able to live and not to be able to get through that particular day, then what's the difference, right? So in that regard, I'm one of those people that, well, as everybody knows, I'm an entrepreneur. I've never been a banker, So at the end of the day, I will always go on the side of the entrepreneur first, right? So that's just to put it in from a context there. But I want to say this because Kem is on the program, and I'm hoping our Honorable Minister for the South here also listens to this. I will say this for if there's a negative that I've heard, and I think it's something that should be mentioned just for them to look into, right? I've heard from a number of different people about issues related to airlift into our island, which I believe that seriously needs to be addressed, right? Like, for instance, Junior, I have heard talks that One American Airline is out, good, gone, not planning to come back to Grenada, right? They've been out for a while, but they pack up down to their chairs, everything that was here, and took it back to America. I heard that another airline is no longer, which is not flying here now, but it has no plans to return for the winter season, which to me, that is something that, if true, and I'm not calling the airlines because, like I said, I'm hearing it from what I believe to be reliable sources, but in case they're not, right? Then I'm also hearing things, of why we lost airlines. Why did they leave? Why are they not looking to come back? And I personally think that for instance, the head of our GTA is doing an absolutely fantastic job,
Absolutely.
right? But airlift is a huge part of how we keep our hotels, especially as we open more hotels. Airlift is a huge, huge part of it. And I can tell you that, when I hear people talking about flights from, for example, you heard people talking about potential flights coming in from Dubai and stuff. But as for somebody who lived this island 30 years and been involved in that's kind of my thing. To me, when we don't have proper airlift from the Caribbean, and when we don't have proper airlift from North America, and when we don't have proper airlift coming in as we lose airlines that have been with us for donkey's years, through thick and thin, from Europe, I begin to really get concerned, right? And I'll say to you that there are avenues I think that, it needs more, our airport needs more attention. Junior, are you aware that we don't have an ice machine at our airport? We don't have an ice machine. So when flights come in and they want ice, they have to send to go and buy the ice outside of the airport. Where's the gas station? Where's the next closest place? These little things, those things are things I would say we could look to improve on. Finding the airlift, looking for airlift that is, works for us better. How do we get our people? Why are we paying in today's age ridiculous money to get to North America compared to islands that are right next to us on both sides, right? Why is Barbados spending way less for somebody to get from Barbados to the States than to come here in Grenada, Trinidad? What is going on? Why can't we solve these problems in this time? We talk to hotels, we want hotels to come and build, but we're not figuring out how to increase that airlift. And it's in particular, how to improve it within the Caribbean. Dropping an extra flight on, but the person who can't climb that plane could spend the same money and go to New York than let's say he could do to go to, let's say, Antigua. It's not adding up.
True.
So these are little things I want to say, and all the positives, and I don't want this to be seen as a negative. The reason why I voice this and this opinion is, Junior, I'm going to say this here. And even though he might not be the minister responsible for airlift and tourism, I'm going to say this here. I know the minister of the South in terms of every time I hear somebody say, look, I have a problem here, that problem fixed within a couple of days. Yeah. So I'm hoping that this forum will at least start a conversation to get the right men to fix it. Right. And I also want to say one more thing, and I hope you bear with me with this. Junior, one of the things that I've noticed, and I want to say this, and this goes across the board to both NNP and NDC representatives in the last government and in this government. And people might say and think that it's not something to look at, and and maybe Bobby don't have a point. But I want to say this here, and I think people should take a look at it, right? And I am saying this. Let's take a look around all the constituencies in these elections, the last elections, even the one before that. And you would have noticed under NNP, I would say it because at the time it was NNP, there was a movement to start to bring a lot more younger people into the party, right? A lot more younger people in than what we would have seen in before that. And we have seen NDC pick that up and run with that now too. They have a lot of youth within their party. And in my mind, I'm saying this. Is the level of work that we are seeing that is increasing, and is the participation that we are seeing in terms of young people getting more involved, is it not something that we should look and investigate to say that maybe our problem has been that we have allowed politics to be something that we look at only the older heads? You have to be a certain age,
right? Yeah. To
get success in that, and now turn to the model of where The young people are the ones with the energy to get out there and get the work done.
Right.
Should this not be looked at as a model? And I also see it as for years, and I even criticized the last government for this. When Dr. Mitchell announced that he was running again, is when my outward support for NMP was put on the back burners. Because to me, I saw why do we have to be this way? That young people, how do we encourage a young person to get involved in the political aspect of our landscape when there's no future? When the person who gets there as a leader is going to stay there until he dies. And
Right.
when the people who are in the leadership positions are not going to listen to youth. And
Right.
I think one of the biggest aspects of Deacon Mitchell being our prime minister at this stage is now the young people that drive our economy can see youth, can see the potential to get involved in the process, can see the work that is happening for people who maybe 15 years ago, 20 years ago, you would never believe that they would ever have a political role
Right.
and a way to really move forward our country. And for this, I think NEC also needs great commendation for what they have done. Because the faces, the ones out there who are leading the party in terms of the faces and getting that recognition seem to be the youth of our country in terms of political youth.
Right.
Right? I really think that's a good sign for the future of Grenada politically.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. Kem, one of the things that, and Bobby alluded to it, but one of the things that the NDC has been criticized for this past 2 years is that the government it seems like they're always out, they're always flying, they're always on a plane, they're always traveling somewhere. Do you think that rings good for the governance, or you think that criticism falls flat?
Well, firstly, Junior, as it relates to airlifts, airlift from Grenada, I think we have seen, and not to wash what Bobby said, I think we have seen in the first quarter this year alone a 30% increase in the amount of visitors coming to Grenada. So it therefore means that we have more airlifts than we have had before. In fact, our beloved Prime Minister was able to negotiate and get inter-Caribbean here. That was an addition. We hear of if airline doing an extra for Carriacou.
Yes.
They would have a number of days, 6 days a week. They would have a number of flights going from Grenada to Carriacou, which is remarkable, which is great. So we are getting there. I agree with Bobby. There is still room for improvement, and more can be done. More negotiation. I think the GTA with Ms. Petra Roach and her team, they're doing a fantastic job in matching Grenada and negotiating with airlines. We have JetBlue coming in from Boston, the main hub now, on a Saturday. We never had that before. So quite a lot is happening where that is concerned. We have more flights than before. There might be one or two with issues and concerns. Over time, that will be addressed. But for now, I think we can fairly say with the data, more people are visiting Grenada and people have easier access to and from Grenada. My good friend Max was saying to me, boy, we can easily go to Barbados during the daytime and come back in the evening. That didn't used to happen before because of the access and more airlifts. So again, while I note what Bobby said, the machine, for example, the ice machine and things like that, that should be fixed and that should be corrected forthwith. There's more work to be done to get more airlifts and more planes to come here. I agree with all of that. But I think they're trying their best, and I hope they can continue on that path. But you asked me a very important question, Junior. Grenada produces very little. We do not print money. So many a times, our leaders are invited, ministers of government, prime minister, invited to certain functions, certain forums, certain summits, certain very important high-level meetings, and they would wait whether or not it is sensible to go, and whether we will get return for that investment going and sitting around the table. It is better to be around the table with the key people than to be away from the table and you hear about it down the road and you have to go through all kind of channels. Many a times, the trips, that the ministers of government are making, many a times they are paid for by agencies. I have worked in government. I've traveled to quite a number of countries around the world. And many a times the ticket just come to me. Kem Jones is going to Singapore. Kem Jones is going to Japan. Kem Jones is going to China. Kem Jones is going to Colombia. Kem Jones is going to United Kingdom. And the ticket come to me, paid for by the agency. So while it is good to have them here in the constituency doing X and doing Y, sometimes you have to go out and get it. You have to go out and negotiate. It may not be realized in the short term, but the medium to long term. Some people question, well, why our prime minister was going to, was it Dubai or United Arab Emirates? Somewhere in the Middle East, where we got that $100 million loan at concessionary rates. I just can't remember if it's the UAE or Dubai, one of those, Middle Eastern countries, right? We were able to get $100 million at concessionary rates loan. And some people say, well, that's not a big deal. It's a big deal in this time and day with a serious grace period to repay. So sometimes you have to go. The climate change conversation, the Honorable Kirin James, she has to be there sometimes, right? So the traveling, because of technology, people know now, but during the NNP time, they were traveling too. And sometimes we get to know after, but they have to travel. We don't produce anything much. We don't have oil and gas, although we were told that we found oil and gas, right? We don't have, let's say, pearl, ruby, gold, iron, and all these different things. We don't have these resources, these materials. We don't have them. So many a times you have to go out there and negotiate. You have to attend these functions and events and meet with the people. I could remember going to, I think it was Jamaica at this regional conference, or Singapore, one of those places I went to. And because of me being, Panama. And because of me being at that high level meeting, I was able to rub shoulders with a person from a particular international organization to say, well, look, I have a youth disaster management initiative in Grenada, where I'm trying to have young people involved in disaster management, and we need funding, we need support. And he said, man, just send me an email. Send me an outline the initiative, tell me more about it. And then, my agency, we can partner with you, we can sponsor this, we can sponsor that. And then we were able to get sponsorship from them. So sometimes you have to be at the table. So we have to educate our people so that they would know that the reason why you have a minister of, let's say, climate change or a minister of foreign affairs, there are certain things that they have to do. They have to travel from time to time. They have to attend certain summits and function. And that's kind of normal. Nothing is wrong with that because the government is functioning. They're operating. Look, for example, and I'm just giving examples here. When the Most Honorable Deacon Mitchell, our Prime Minister, is out, he would appoint Andy Williams, the Honorable Andy Williams, as acting Prime Minister. Yeah. And things continue. The programs, the projects, the this, the that, salaries paid, things happening. So we cannot reach to that place to say, well, if that person is not there, everything going to collapse. That was the belief in the previous administration. Well, if Keaton there, the country can run, nothing could happen. But now we're seeing that is not the case. So I am simply saying to people, understand that we're in 2024. Ministers of government, they will travel. You might have little issues, little qualms that they're traveling too often. Maybe they could cut it down once, 1, 2, or 3, or 4. Maybe they could send somebody senior if, within the ministry, if they're not important, if they don't have to be there. I could understand that. But at the end of the day, we don't produce anything plentiful here. And sometimes you have to go out and get it. All right? And that's just my position on that.
Guys, we open up the phone line so you could chime in as well. The phone number that you call is 718-701-5720, the number on the screen. We're talking about this 2 years, right? This is supposed to be a debate conversation. Mr. Michael Batiste, has yet to jump in on the live. So we still await Mr. Michael Batiste to come in and put his views on record. He did promise that he will come in, so we're going to still hold him at his word, right? So we give you opportunity as well to call in. The number is 718-701-5720. Let us know what your thoughts on this 2 years, the Deacon Mitchell-led administration in power in Grenada. What's your thoughts thus far? Call in and let us know. Bobby, one of the things that haven't changed much, right, is the politicization of everything. The politics, it just like election is fresh in the air. Everybody's still arguing. I know for a fact there are about 5 people that I knew personally, like real close, that they don't talk to me now because they feel that they're on one side and they feel that they're on the next side. How could closing that divide and separating us?
Junior, let me say this first of all. If people watched our national flag, they will realize that there is no one color in that flag.
True.
So it starts being, if you are a Grenadian, you should never allow yourself to become such that you're only seeing things through the eyes of one color, because then you are not a Grenadian. What you are is just for a color. And to me, that is what starts one of the biggest problems. Each Grenadian should be allowed to judge each government on a 4-year period, just like you will assess any position of management, and
Right.
you assess the position. If this position has not been working in the best interests of the company, and the company being that called Grenada or beautiful Grenada, then we have the ability, which a lot of people died for, and that's a lot of people have to understand. This ability to vote, right, is a very big thing that people have to take seriously. And that ability to vote gives you the ability to change from what I'm on the phone. Yeah, that gives you the ability to change as as you see fit based on management. But I would like to add this, because this is important, and this goes out to my good partner Kev, that some of the problems we create and things that backfire on a party in office today, right? A person that might backfire is also created by the rhetoric that some of us put out there. So, for example, if when one party is in office, all of the people who are on the media and then are talking and saying about how much that party traveling, and look, they're not here, and look what they're doing and they're going here. It is only natural that when the governments change, you're going to see that same thing happen on the next side. We have to be consistent in our message. And I support you 100% that people have to go, that people have to go there and look for business. I mean, that at the end of the day, you're talking facts, right? That they have to go and look for business, but we must be consistent in the message that if there's a government change power and it becomes another government the next time, then we must stick with the message that they have a job to do, right? And that's all I'm saying. No, as you said, people can adjust. It has been too much travel. Have there been results of travel? That is an individual thing to do. But mostly rhetoric, the people who are spreading this rhetoric, in terms of the people who are going with, like the people who saying, look, the minister gone, traveling, he ain't doing nothing, he gone. They only repeating what they hear, no. They have no idea where that minister is. They don't know what meeting that minister is sitting on in. They don't know what is being discussed in that meeting in the best interest of Grenada. They are just voicing a rhetoric based on their colors and based on who has come out and said this to them.
Yes.
Right? And this is what we need to change as we begin to change. And Junior, you live in a place right now. Where both parties are absolutely fed up because of their leadership of their parties is considered outdated.
Yeah.
Outdated, right? But yet the people is who have those outdated people there, because their young people had choices in both parties. Now we have chosen the young people. Grenada has chosen the young people. We have seen the success of what young people can bring to the table. What we as, to me, because I don't consider myself old yet, I still feel young. So I just feel like if I get to enjoy the best of both worlds, because I believe that the young people is who can take us into the future. The
Absolutely.
ones of us who have lived past, well, we've passed that. Now we have to hope that the young people could keep our future bright for us. Trying to put people, who live their life. They beat the road already. Trying to put them to live. Most of them don't even know how to turn on their computer properly, right? They don't know how to, but they want to go for office. How can you elect people like this
Yeah.
to lead us when they don't even understand the technology and the world that they're living in? I'm a dinosaur with computers. I could barely check my email, right? So I'm saying to you that at the end of the day, the most positive thing I've seen with this party so far is the strength of the youth aspect of the party and the accomplishments they're able to do because of their youth. And I'm saying, on to the other side too, no?
Yeah.
Because I'm not closing no door to anything.
Right.
I'm saying you want to get people involved with you, get the young people motivated by what you do. Take an example from what is working and go with it. Because if you remain in these old stubborn ways that this old leadership could somehow bring back and bring people to the table, you lost already.
Yeah.
You lost already.
Let's jump to the phone
Some
lines.
people don't like the truth, but that's the truth.
Let's jump to the phone lines real quick. Got a caller. I've been holding for a little bit. Caller, live. Where are you calling us from?
Hi, good night. I'm calling from Grenada.
Grenada, go right ahead.
So first of all, I'm grateful for this opportunity that, we can discuss things that are happening on the island in an open forum. However, one of the things that I must say that is missing in our society is the people's mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And it's somehow part of what the last caller said. Now, people are bent on a party that they like rather than seeing what is being offered to them.
Right.
And saying that there is so much happening, and with it happening, there are a group of people who in positions where they can undermine, and instead of looking at what's being done, it's something that can help us all. It's better for the island, but because it's not done by the party that they support, they are there trying to undermine it and make things look as if it's not happening and giving things a bad way.
Right.
People of Grenada need to open up their mindset. Now, I went to the General Hospital yesterday, and the facility is much better than it was before. However, the mindset of the people that are working there, some of them is still the same. Now, when I got there, I had to spend 15 to 20 minutes before I could see a clerk give my name to them for them to go get my file or whatever they get. Seeing that person for 20 minutes, I had to wait another 3 hours before I could have been called in by the nurse to find out what was my complaint and what was happening to me. And then I actually had to walk out of the facility. I had to sit in there for another hour and a half seeing somebody.
Right.
I had a doctor in Trinidad who called and was able to send a prescription for me based on what was happening because I was recently there for treatment. And then I had to get a doctor here, pay another fee for him to write over the prescription for me to get the medication. Else I could have been in a very dire state today. And so we have to, as people, change our mindset. It's no longer a color or a party. It is what is going on. Is it beneficial to us? And I can't see how people can see today that they're not seeing that what is happening is so much good and so much different things are happening. It's in a positive way. One of the things I must say, though, I always wanted to say that, we need a little bit of road work, gang, still. I find the roads getting out of hand. That's the one thing I find we need a little bit more of. I don't know how they're looking at it, but the road gang, we could get some more of it. Otherwise, to that, there's a lot of good things happening. Nobody is perfect. And another thing we must remember, we put no party there to give us to say nothing.
Okay.
It's to make decisions and implementation that's can better us.
Thank you so much, caller. Thanks for your input on this program here today. Thank you. Thanks again. Kem, I want you to touch on the CBI, right? Because I listened to other programs, and the rhetoric is that Grenada took advantage of an opportunity and amassed a surplus of money because of CBI, right? And it's been projected to the followers, to the listeners, to the viewers of that particular platform as if Grenada did something wrong or Grenada did something illegal to accomplishing the vast amount of monies during that CBI process. Explain to me, from your understanding, right, what the government was able to do with the CBI funds and taking in the Russian applicants, and at what point did it stop?
If my mic is still muted.
Yes, sorry, you're good now.
All right, good. So, firstly, you have to understand why the opposition forces are out there trying to paint the same CBI program that they were happy about when they were in government. Why they're trying to paint it so bad? I believe, and I'm making this personal, I believe the reason why they're going after this program is because they assess, based on the budget, that the government is heavily reliant on that, on the CBI, to fix roads, to fix schools, to fix police stations, to invest in youth development, to invest in women's development, to do things, so to speak,
Right.
construction, and we can go on and on. So they know that this program is very important to this administration. And a lot of the folks on the opposition side, the opposition forces, they would love to see Grenada on its knees so they can climb the back of Grenada and get back into power. So they have been talking over and over, attacking more or less the program because the program was able to realize revenues of $1 billion plus. And it's the first for a CBI program in the region. But here it is. We have not seen, Junior, one crook came through that program and Grenada named Stinker Road, quote unquote. You know, people will say it.
Mm-hmm.
We have seen during the previous administration plenty crooks, well, I call them convestors, who came in this country and raped and robbed this country of millions and millions of dollars and run away with it. The shrimp farm, for example, is a typical example. Some convestors came here and they conned the administration of $54.2 million with the same citizenship by investment program. You know, lest we forget that about, well, a certain amount of people from Canada, in particular, citizens of Canada and so on, invested money in that particular program, but they got their citizenship, they got their passport, and the most honorable Deacon Mitchell and his government did not go after these people to take back their passport and take back their citizenship. That was a good thing. But we lost $54.2 million under the previous administration, the NNP administration, through the same thing. So we have not experienced that to date with this government and the citizenship by investment program. I am not saying that it's perfect. No. But the United States of America, they have been engaged with due diligence. They have been working in tandem with IMA now. I think they changed the name.
Yeah.
Right? So they have been working with them, the Treasury Department and so on. They have been working with the European Union and those responsible there. So far, the due diligence, the cooperation, it is going good. But when you listen to the opposition side, it's as though they vex that Grenada was able to get that kind of revenue. And why should it be Grenada? And the reason why is because the Russians. Tell me this. What wrong with the Russians? But they're not human beings? Huh? So you're telling me that there isn't good people in every nation? So because there's a war between Ukraine and Russia, it means that everybody in Russia is bad? Huh? It means that because there's a war between Israel and Gaza or Hamas or whoever they have there, it means that everybody in Gaza is bad or everybody in Israel is bad? That is what these people are making people think, that everybody bad. and once it's a Russian, it's a problem. No, there's good people in every society. And the mere fact that the CBI, the IMA now, they're doing proper due diligence.
Right.
Right? We are this program is a very good program, but we need this program. It's not just want. We need this program to transform Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. And so far, so good. And we all must be proud of the fact that with the leadership at the IMA, or the Citizenship Office, right? The leadership there, my good friend Richard Duncan and the others, they're doing a fantastic job in making sure that due diligence is done and no crook or con man is coming through this program. It's not perfect, but over time they're getting there, they're working on it. So I think what the opposition forces should do, they should be happy. Happy of the fact that we're getting revenues, we're developing our country, we're providing opportunities to our people, and so far, so good.
Yeah. We got a caller on the line. Let's jump to the call and we get Bobby's view on this. Caller, you're live. Where are you calling us from?
Hi, Junior. I'm calling from the diaspora. I must say that I support the government, but it's not just because I support the government. I believe that the government is doing an excellent job with regards to governing, with regards to some of the policies that they would have implemented. So, for example, with the extending of the school age through to 17, I think that that's an excellent program. Would allow individuals to have more access to education, also with it being now free. And that would in turn allow for better development of the country. I personally, being in the diaspora, appreciate implementation of the passport, along with many other policies that they would have implemented. I am excited to see the transportation program and system come on stream. However, in listening to a lot of individuals, and even in listening to this program and in reading the comment section, I believe that some of us that are asking for the change is a part of the problem. Because, for example, a lot of the times when Mr. Bobby is speaking, I see some of us in the comment section asking him, why no? Why wasn't he asking the NNP that question? I personally, one who support the National Democratic Congress, is having a serious problem with persons who say that they support or that they support the National Democratic Congress and is attacking persons in comment section like that. Because if I used to vote for NNP, or if I voted for NNP in the last election and now I am asking for a change on something, no, if you get that thing done, who says that I'm not going to vote for the NDC in the next election? And there has been a change. So some of the persons that you would have probably known in the past who support the NNP, you do not know who they are supporting at the moment. So you constantly attacking them and asking them, didn't you ask the NNP that? You can just be causing your party to lose a vote. And at the end of the day, people voted for change. People voted because they wanted to see things change. So stop asking them, why are they asking? They're asking because they voted for that. Also, the last thing that I want to encourage the government to do is probably, I don't know what are their plans. The first year seems to be a lot faster with regards to implementation than the second year. Maybe it was a more groundbreaking year for them. But for the third year, I want them to start to work on some homegrown programs a bit more, grassroots programs, even as the caller previously would have said, like even stuff like the road work. Yes, you're trying to change the mindset of the people. However, a culture is not something that just change in a year. It takes period of educating, new implementation, and then gradually people's mindset shift. So you cannot just allow a thing that people are going to just shift immediately. So while we are working on a lot of projects, a lot of sustainable programs, I want us to do some stuff in the community that individuals can get instant gratification. You know, some of the sports program, the road walker, go to them, the town hall, go to them and educate them, let them know, hey guys, this is what we are doing, you know, forget the noise, this is what the opposition is saying, this is what you are hearing on social media, but I am here in front of you right now telling you that this is what I'm doing, this is the proof, stuff like that. And I think, you know, they'd be successful in the next election. I wish them all the best. I don't want to see anything going downhill. We're just going up and forward.
Thank you so much, caller. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bobby, any?
But before Bobby come in,
Yeah.
let me just say one little thing.
Uh,
I want to endorse that caller. I want to endorse what she said, because I too was somewhat uncomfortable, because I am actually inside of the studio more or less based on the software I have.
Right.
You kind of could realize that.
Yes.
Right, based on the software I'm using to be on the program here now. So I'm seeing the comments in real time too. And I too want to endorse the caller with that, because here it is. I remember traveling from Grenada to PT Martinique to attend a funeral of my good friend's mom. That's PD Francis, his mother. Everybody knows that PD is an NNP supporter, but PD is my friend or acquaintance, my pal. We may have differences politically. Man, he does put up things and I does put up things, but I cherish the relationship that we have. We cool like that. And there was a good, strong NDC person who post something when I, post that I'm going to PM or while I was in PM, something of that sort, and commented there. And I was like, but why? Why are you so petty in your thinking? Why are you so partisan in your thinking, right? And I'm not saying that a person would have a right to their opinion. But what I did, I just deleted the comment. So I am saying people could change. It will take some time for some people to change, but people could change. There are a lot of people I met, Junior and Bobby, who supported the NNP in the last election and previous elections, but because they saw certain things, right? Saw certain things that took place in the last 2 years, and they are very impressed. They may not openly come out and tell everybody, well, they change and they're no longer NNP and da. But in the little circles, they would express that. They would talk about that. So I want to endorse that call. I really had to come in here because I think the caller was bang on target. Sometimes you have to kind of calm down, especially our supporters, right? Sometimes we get too emotional, too hasty. Sometimes we got to calm down a bit and understand that transformation is happening holistically. People will change over time. And I endorse the caller.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bobby, any?
Junior, three things I just want to say quickly. Just thing. One of them is I 100% agree that we have a 30% increase in airlift. That does not mean that we have the planes going in the right direction of what's coming in. That just means that a plane that might have come half empty is now coming with more people on board, right? What we want to see is an increase of flights in different destinations and an increase in particular where I think we always seem to drop the ball is our linkage between Grenada and the rest of the Caribbean. I think there's so much travel that could happen into islands, right? And we don't take advantage of it. We don't open our doors enough to it, right? You hear about a ferry coming on stream later on in the year, all these things at different islands. We're hearing about it, but we hear these talks how many years, how many donkeys years. I would just like to see more effort put towards that. That's one. Two, in relation to the CBI money, I think one of the things that we could do with that, and I'm not saying you don't bring it out in a sense in the budget, right? But one of the things we could do with it is when you hear about the CBI program, all you hear about is the money going into a transformation account, right? But why not put a breakage of where that money will go into inside a transformation account? Let me give you an example, right? I have been in the court system right now for a particular case involving my younger brother and some juveniles. And this case has been postponed. And guess what? The reason why it's postponed every time is because the courts are saying they cannot get, they have to get like a finding. They have to get somebody who could evaluate the juveniles in order to assess them, to properly bring them in front of our court, right? And this is lacking because we don't have the people to do that. But juveniles is the future of Grenada. So we should be spending a lot of attention to make sure that our justice system for them is at the right capability, meaning we could look after these people, right? I'm not against, I'm not saying about sentence, I'm talking about for them and all, because probably if we did have that in place, maybe there wouldn't even be a case going on now, right? But I'm saying we need to, and it's small things like that. Allocated, people love to hear mentality. If you're in the hotel, let's say, for example, in the transformation fund, 5% of whatever comes in here is going to be going towards solving the nighttime wrong the clock transportation issue. That all of a sudden is going to appeal to some people. You break it down. This is what is going to go to hospitals, and then you could put figures to what will go there to that particular area, and then people start to have a more attachment to it. Then, if you understand what I'm saying, because when you just put it out into it going into the fund, then people, the ones who don't educate themselves, it might be saying that's going to have fun. What fun really happening here? Is that for better salaries to the politicians? Is that for more trips to travel outside? Is that, you understand what I'm saying, Junior? I think we could do more to educate our people about how important that program is for us as a country. I 100% support it, and for the opposition to even attempt to say that this is bad for Grenada, it is really, I mean, being hypocritical at best, because I supported it when it first started under NNP, and I could be sure to tell you that there were massive mistakes made under NNP in the early setup of it. Who could ever forget First International Bank and these kind of characters that have passed through under the watch, right? So there's a learning process in everything that you do, right? And while government is continuous, let us be clear, a lot of the systems that have been put in place to spot check have actually been by trial and error done under the last government, and this government is only improving what was already put in place. So I don't think we should be tolerating when politicians come around and talk that we know is hypocritical, right? I think we should be, we should just ignore this thing, and we should be focused all together on what is best for Grenada. And as I said, and I want to make this very clear, every Grenadian t-shirt I wear has all the colors in it, right? And it's just coincident that today I have on this yellow and black. But that is everybody who know me knows I'm a huge Arsenal fan, and this is not a political statement. But I'm saying, after 2 years, if we have to judge right now, I am 100% could say, as far as I am concerned, the goods have far outweighed anything negative that we have seen, that I personally have seen, and the people who are in my circle that I talk to that will talk openly, because they have people that will say one thing and mean something else.
Right.
But people who have been, I have never been afraid to talk as I see it. So at this stage, I can only commend NEC on the effort and what I have seen, and in particular to the Minister of the South, to the Minister over in Carriacou, to the Honorable Minister Redhead, you in particular, I must say that I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
I am very impressed.
Kem, we know that there is a town hall meeting going on, so we're going to break like the next 10 minutes to afford for that as well. Kem, what do you think, in closing, in this conversation, what do you think that the administration need to do to gear up for the next 2-3 years? People are saying that they're doing so much now. Then what happened when election year come around? Like, what would they do now? But what do you think that they need to start doing now?
Well, look, one thing we must at least highlight, the government is doing well, but they need to have ways and means to sell it. The PR is important.
Right.
So that's something, that's a weakness. And not now, from day one. We need to be able to sell what they are doing, because remember, the opposition forces will not go to sleep and allow the NDC administration to peacefully govern and bring prosperity and opportunities to our people. They want to come back into power, and they're hungry for it. They miss it so much that even good things, they are condemning and criticizing. So the PR, they need to improve the PR. Also, there is a need to have a more ground approach to governance. It cannot be always up here. It has to be in the trenches, in the communities. How can I go in the community and listen to the ordinary man and see what I can do to help that ordinary person? Things are happening. We know about the free tuition policy that is benefiting the ordinary man. We know about the free hot meal program that is benefiting the ordinary man. We know about the WASH program, the JUMP program, where they provide internet access, a device training for households without internet devices and internet access and that kind of thing. We know what COVID did to a lot of students and young people. So they're trying to improve on that. I think about 1,500 families will be impacted by that, which is great, right? So we know about a number of initiatives, but more must be done to assist, at that level. At that level, the engagement must start now, intensify that. But by and large, things are happening. I have full confidence that they're on the right path. I think we need to kind of calm our expectation down, because they have been doing so much that people expect them to work magic to turn stone into bread and water into wine. We got to calm down a bit, because we still have 3 more years. NDC has 3 more years to deliver on the promises they made to do things. That's a term of 5 years and I think 90 days. So I want to urge our people, while we have seen a lot happen, the CES program, 500 plus small and medium-sized businesses were impacted positively with that grant of up to $30,000. So things are happening for people. The license, I'm certain that Bobby, as an entrepreneur, businessman, will be happy with the license upgrade. Instead of him having to go and drive that truck now, that little minivan that really and truly one of his staff could actually use and drive, because they drive in a vehicle as big as that, just that you don't have an open back, right? So, the passport, that too would be increased to 10 years and you're paying the same amount of money. So there are a number of things. The tax amnesty that benefited so many people in the country. The spice replanting program. We are now planting back our spice trees. It was neglected after Hurricane Ivan. People didn't bother to replant the spices and so on. Grenada is still the island of spice. Say what you want. So there are a number of things that are happening for people. The community centers. So many community centers have been refurbished, reconditioned. So many medical stations have been refurbished and reconditioned. We see the lands being secured and paid for the down payment and so on for our modern teaching hospital facility. So a number of things are happening in Carriacou, the night landing for the Hillsborough, for the Lauriston Airport, the renaming of the airport to Hubbard Blaise. And remember, Hubbard Blaise was not a NDC. He was NNP, but he was a Grenadian who did well for the people of Carriacou and PT Martinique. And that's the level of maturity that we are seeing with this government. We saw the Golden Jubilee celebration properly executed. We must give kudos where kudos are to be given. So the government is performing well on many, many fronts. And we need to support them. We see 26 nurses hired in the government. We see 9 new doctors hired in the government. So a number of things are happening for our people. And let me tell you this, Junior. One thing I am proud of, this government is serious about delivering and taking care of the people. Hear this. The NNP, surrogates and pundits, they're out there right now beating up a suggestion, a proposal, not just suggestion, a proposal by this government to create a pension scheme for 3,000, almost 3,005 public servants who are in government, but they are on contract because the NNP introduced contract labor within the public service. But these people are retiring without a pension, and the burden falls directly back on the state, right? When the NNP was in power, they never did anything where that is concerned to make sure that these people can go home with some pension. As it stands now, the government could make all 3,000 something of them go because it's a contract. Once the contract up, they don't have to renew it. No, but the government is not making anybody go. They're not making them go. What the government is seeking to do is to create a pension scheme to accommodate these people to make sure when they make them permanent that they have a pension to fall back on. Because as it stands now, the government cannot absorb the 3,500 people in the current pension scheme. It will bankrupt the economy. It will crush the economy. So the government is saying we can't do that. And I think the NNP as a party agrees that it can't be done. The NDC agrees as a party that it can't be done, right? But the NDC is saying we have to find some solution to make these people get a pension when they retire. And right now, the NNP pundits and surrogates out there, they're against this. They condemning it. They're criticizing it. And you just think about it. This is a good thing. It is a good thing to create a pension scheme, a plan that would take care of these people that is contributory. So they contribute a 3% or 4% or whatever from their salary, and the government contribute a 4 or 5%. That's a good thing. We all could come together and say, yes, that's a good thing. But instead, the NNP and the NNP surrogates and pundits, they're out there trying to beat down this thing. And you're asking yourself, is there any guide, anybody at the helm of that organization to say, nah, or do you stop it? There are some good initiatives. We have to applaud it and wish them good, wish them well. And you're beating it down like this. That's just my point. My point.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kim. In closing, Bobby, any final words? We have to do a quick stop in 4 minutes because we're going to jump to the broadcast of the town hall meeting happening now.
I said it. But for me, let's keep it going. Let's try and keep positive as a country. Nothing to condemn. I will say to the opposition, don't see because I say this is good, that it means that there's no room for opposition. Get your act together. 3 years is a while away. You'll come back, we're motivated, come back with a positive uptake, and let's see what happens. I said at this point in time, I am quite impressed with what I've seen. But the colors are always multicolored, Grenada flag colors, not one color here. Right? And I believe that the more Grenadians think like that, the more Grenadians think put country first, I think we will all win. I think when we put ourselves into one basket, that's when we end up losing. Because when our basket don't have nothing in it, we die. Right? So stay positive. Great. Again, congrats to everybody on the team. Congrats to all of you all. I mean, my good friend Kim was telling me for years that I will see. For years that I would see. And I used to be sitting along laughing at him and say, boy, what are you talking about? Right? What are you talking about? So I want to be the first to say, Kim, hats off. Hats off. I can't deny it. Hats off. Right? So continue to do well. Continue to stay focused. Don't get, and if I just advise them, don't get swan-headed.
Yeah. Don't
let the politics take over where your heart started. Right? And I think great things are ahead for us as a country. I do think great things are ahead for us.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bobby, Kim, we didn't see or hear from Mr. Michael Batiste today. Maybe another time. Who knows? Kim, we'll keep in touch. Bobby, stay true, my brother. All right. Yeah. Yeah, guys. So that was, of course, a conversation here. Was started to be a debate. It didn't turn out quite that way. Mr. Michael Batiste did not show up. Probably he had some internet connection issues. We're going to give him the benefit of the doubt at this point in time. I got some closing words, guys, but let's take a quick word from our sponsors. And we will be right back. Don't move.
if you had a choice? A choice of joining a line or a choice of making your purchases online? What would you choose? While you ponder on that, the National Lotteries Authority has provided another purchasing option. All their games are now available online. Yes, Grenadians! From wherever you are, purchase your favorite daily and jackpot type games using any electronic device. Register on the NLA's website at www.nla.gd. Top up your account and enjoy online lottery gaming at your convenience. We're taking shopping comfort up, up, up several notches. But the choice is yours. Join a line or buy online. NLA, make your dreams come true.
Yeah, guys, I got some updates for you, some information really quickly. And this is great, this is big, and that's especially for people flying down to Grenada for Carnival. Prepare yourself to be a part of the Carriacou Carnival Cool Down campaign, right? Cool down. So after Carnival, after Grenada Carnival, prepare to stay and head off to Carriacou for the cool down. This is the press release. The Grenada Tourism Authority, in collaboration with the government of Grenada and Petit Martinique, Caribbean Diplomatic Affairs, and the Ministry of Tourism, Culture, and the Creative Economy has embarked on a new initiative to drive more visitors to the Sister Isle. The launch of the Carriacou Carnival Cool Down is a new marketing campaign aimed to encourage revelers to travel to Carriacou and Petit Martinique after Spice Mass. So, prepare yourself, because we're heading to Carriacou. I'm going to be there. Paradise Beach are coming. Carriacou Cool Down, right after Spice Mass. We're going where? Carriacou. Prepare yourself for that. It's going to be big. It's going to be massive. We're going to have someone tomorrow to speak about the Carriacou Cool Down. We get someone from GTA. But I think it's a great initiative. What do you think? Yeah, man, I think it's a good thing. Good thing, good vibe. Carriacou Cool Down. That's where we're heading right after Spice Mass. Alright? Talking about Spice Mass.
Time etched its story upon the cosmos. There existed a realm where legends were born, a universe bathed in the shimmering light of infinite possibilities, where each twinkling star whispered tales of heroes and their odysseys. Welcome to a journey where galaxies collide and destinies are forged in the crucible of time itself. Welcome to Legends by Amazing Colors Monday Night Mass. Legends by Amazing Colors Monday Night Mass. Assemble and use your powers to defend and break free.
Yeah, I'm telling all you. Listen, guys, also, we know that there are so much graduation happening, and you know, Ride E-Bike Excursion and Tours is the spot, the place if you want to get a real nice excursion around Grenada. I ain't talking about just driving around it. I'm talking about going inside with an e-bike, into the mountains, into the ravines, yeah? So we know there's a lot of graduation happening. So we're offering a half price for all seniors. If you're graduating from school, this is the opportunity to be a part of our excursion. It's every Sunday, by the way. It's every Sunday. So you could get half off the excursions, or you could get half off rental. So you just go into the kiosk at the Esplanade Mall and say, hey, listen, I just graduated, or I'm graduating. Just like that, you get half off rentals and half off your excursions. Easy as that. Go into the excursion, or you could call this. Put this number on your phone right now. Save it. 473-422-1011. That's 473-422-1011. Yeah, man, that's the number right there. Or go online at ridersebike.com. That's ridersebike.com. Half off for all seniors. Guys, I got to say this for the taximen, bus drivers, anyone with an H-class license plate, right? we have something coming up for you guys. This is a big, big, big deal. I ain't going to officially announce it yet, but I'm just telling all you, it's going to be a big, big deal. Let me paint a scenario here for you guys. So you're in Grenada, right, for the carnival or whenever, and you want a taxi or you want to get picked up. You know, like how here we use like a Uber. You jump on the Uber and you press and you get an Uber XL, the reliable transportation. Guys, I say no more. I say no more. This is going to revolutionize the whole transportation sector in Grenada. And we are now reaching out to some of the taxi men. We're having some consultation with taxi drivers. Right? When I visited Grenada last week, I got a chance to meet with a number of taxi drivers, and I saw the concern, and I understand how we could help the taxi drivers, tour operators, even make more money by this new initiative, this new plan that we are launching here right now. I ain't saying no more. My lips are sealed from here on. That's it. Yeah, we got to go and check out the town hall. But I also got to say, guys, listen, we all love Grenada, right? There are a lot of rhetoric that put out there, and I heard it while I was in Grenada. I'm hearing this talk show talking about me and others, and there was just back and forth that going on. I didn't respond. I was too busy to respond. But I think that we need to tamper down on the rhetoric that is going around. We all love Grenada. There is no one that loves Grenada less. We all love Grenada, right? We just have a different part of how we feel, or the leadership, or people might have a difference of opinion on who they think or who they like or who they prefer, or whatever the case. But that's fine. That is fine. Everybody cannot be the same. But we all need to show out some level of respect. And at the end of the day, that's what it all comes down to. Respect. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Yeah? R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Spice Chick, you want to find out how much to print a logo on a t-shirt? Message me, inbox me, I will sort you out. Also, guys, we got to thank Lenovo as the headphones. Thank you so much, Lenovo, for sponsoring Ride Along Live. Don't forget, guys, if you want to get this headphone, we have some in stock. We have some locally in stock, so you could order here and it gets shipped out tomorrow. Or if you want to pick it up in Grenada after Saturday, so you'll be available in the kiosk from Monday, right? Next Monday, be available. All right, so you can check it out. This is the headphone that is revolutionizing headphones, guys. It's Lenovo. It's the best. It's one of the best headphones I've used. All right, thank you, Lenovo, for the Pro Bluetooth 5.4 earphone from Think Plus. It is amazing. Also got to thank Nutmeg Pain Reliever Spray by my good friend Cecil Belfon, doing a great job. Thank you. Guys, you can get this online right now, or you could pick it up in our kiosk in the Esplanade Mall. Also, if you need a t-shirt printing, you know where to go, right? Go in the Esplanade Mall, just walk in. Just walk into the Esplanade Mall, and any kind of logo, whatever you want to see on your shirt, you could get it done there really quickly. So go in there and get your t-shirt printed inside the Esplanade Mall. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for being a part of our program today. We appreciate you. Good night. On behalf of all of our production crew, our team, our senior executive producer, Lois JJ, we say thank you so much. I'll catch you guys again tomorrow.